On today's episode, we're talking about my new 2021 Chevy Silverado with the 3-liter Duramax diesel. All right, welcome back to Fab and Adventures, guys. This week's episode, we're just going to kind of go over some of the things that I found and just some of the features of this 2021 Silverado with that 3-liter Duramax diesel. So far, I really like it. I haven't really crawled underneath it and inspected and looked for flaw or stuff I don't like or whatever, but I kind of had no option. With the other ZR2 that I had a Colorado ZR2, and if you want to watch that video, I had lots of trouble with it. I'll put a link right up here. And I traded it off, and with COVID, basically, there's no stock for no vehicles anywhere. So I ended up having to order this truck, and it took about 6 weeks to come in, and I ordered it with the 3-liter Duramax diesel, basically for fuel mileage. So my main plan for this truck here is going to be a personal truck. It's going to be a garage queen, a pavement princess, and it's really going to see next to no kilometers until it's time to trade it down to as a work truck. And I got the 3-liter diesel because the fuel mileage, from what I've been looking into, is supposed to be pretty awesome, and fuel is your biggest expense in my job. So if I can have a truck that gets wicked fuel mileage for myself personally, awesome, and for a job, even better. All right, here she is, the little baby Duramax. It's an inline 6, 3-liter Duramax diesel, and pretty impressive stats on it, like 277 horsepower and 460 pounds of torque, which I think is pretty impressive in this little package. The engine has been built specifically for this truck, this format, and they've done a ton of new engineering. They've kept all your turbo and all your sensors and everything up high and easy to access, according to what I've researched. They got a short boost tube. They've done a ton of different things. The injection pump is the highest rated in its class, 36,000 psi or something like that, if I remember right. There is a little bit of a drawback, if you want to call it that, and I'm thinking that the Duramax team has got this figured out, but they have a wet drive belt in the back. I think it's for the fuel pump. I can't quite remember, but it needs service at about 150,000 K, and you have to actually slide the transmission back to service that belt or change that belt. Now, the argument is with the belt or chain or whatever up front to service that, to get all this stuff out of the way, pull the front of the engine apart to get at that belt to service it, it's just as much time or even quicker to just slide the transmission back and service that belt. Now, don't take my word for it. If you guys are interested in getting this little Duramax in the half-ton in this format, make sure you do your own research and make up your own decisions. I've had really good luck with my Duramax in the 1-ton, so pretty well, no question that this Duramax is going to be pretty well flawless. My 1-ton Duramax has been pretty well flawless, except for a couple of self-induced problems. And if you want to ask me about that in the comments, go ahead. I'll answer and tell you what I did and what I should have did. And actually, the wife pointed out before it happened. But yeah, if you want to find out about that, you give me a comment below, and I will. I'll let you know. So yeah, if you guys are interested in this format, make sure you do your own research, make your own decisions. Don't go off of what I'm saying. This is just my ideas. Do your own research, and word of the truck. Wow, listen to that little diesel purr. Nice and quiet. That's one of the biggest things I like about the diesel so far, besides its fuel mileage. Super quiet. It hardly makes any noise compared to my 1-ton Duramax. That thing is quite a bit louder and pretty impressive, especially when you throw the hood down. You know, I'm standing right against it with a mic, and you can hear just how quiet it is. Super quiet, awesome. Let's go have you a walk around. So we're about 10 feet away or so. So let's just go inside here and I'll show you a few other things that I've noticed. One cool thing is how clear this camera is. Super clear. You can see our whole backyard there, way clearer than my 2016. So another thing that they have here that's new to me, and maybe some of you guys know about it, but obviously the mode button, you flick to the left and it puts you in tow haul mode, and you can tell by the little trailer icon down there right beside the two-wheel drive switch. But if you switch it to the left, then you get a few other options like normal, sport, and off-road, and I haven't played with it enough to see what kind of a difference it makes. I'll definitely be doing that and testing this truck towing and everything, and I'll get back to you guys if you're interested at a later date. And now down here they've got, I mean, they've had it for a while. My 16 one-ton had a AC plug-in, but now you actually have to turn the switch on. You have to turn on your inverter by flicking a switch on. And this truck here doesn't have exhaust brake like my one-ton does, but it does have integrated trailer brakes like pretty well every new vehicle has nowadays. And I just tried to keep it fairly simple. So one of the big questions you see online about these trucks is this interior they call Gideon. And even when I went online, looked on the GM website when I was ordering the truck, and I was trying to figure out what this two-tone interior looked like, and even their pictures don't really show it good. And I knew I wanted to have the two-tone interior. I liked it when we had our 2007 Chevy truck. We had the two-tone interior. It was a tan and black interior, and we really liked it. So we thought we'd go with it with this truck. So I'm just gonna try and show you what the colors look like. I mean, it's really hard to show the proper color, but what it is kind of a brown on the dark stuff and kind of a gray, I guess you would call it, on the seats and the other accents in here. So I'm just going to bring you in and kind of show you what the interior looks like. I will just kind of come in, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell what color that is, but it's kind of a brown. I wasn't sure when I first seen pictures of it in the direct sunlight. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it, but I like it. I like the two-tone interior. Roof is even kind of a brown color. It's really hard to get in this lighting, but so that's the interior color they call Gideon. You know, instead of your standard black, straight jet black interior or whatever, this is a two-toned leather interior. And hopefully I'm kind of getting the colors proper. Hopefully I got the camera set right so you can see all the colors, or the proper color of this brown. It looks to me like you can actually see the proper color of the brown here. So one of the things that I'm having a hard time is getting used to this push start. You gotta step on the pedal, push the button to start it, and also push it to stop it. And that's been taking some getting used to for sure. Also in the back, they now have lights in the back of the box. You can also see the 3 anchor points now. Finally, after how many years, we put 3 different level anchors. I mean, that's been something that Chevy should have did years ago. 2 cameras now, and the one is super clear. Let's see if I can get it here. The one camera is super clear and the other one is wide angle or something like that. Or no, it shoots down and down to your trailer hitch here. And it actually does give a fairly good view over top. The other cameras before, it would give you an angle shot back here and you couldn't quite tell when you're over top of the ball. But now with this one, it gives you a pretty good shot looking like you're right over the ball, so you know when to stop. The old push button to open the tailgate. I don't know. I've heard guys have trouble with that in winter. We also have a 110 volt plug-in in the back here. I'm not sure if that's standard. Spray and box liner comes with the Z71 package. So I tried to keep this truck fairly cheap, if you want to call it that. I got it in an LT, not an LTZ. I did order the extra, I paid for the extra leather and I paid for the Z71 package, and that is pretty well all I ordered. And I just wanted to keep it cheap because these trucks can get ridiculous. I believe I paid about $59,000 for this truck, and I'm hoping it's going to be good. So let's show you one other thing that I find is kind of odd, kind of dumb, a little cheesy maybe, but it's these exhaust tips. Let's see if I can show you. Now, these exhaust tips, if you want to call it that, are not exactly actually exhaust tips. They're just molded into the bumper. So basically the exhaust just dumps into this pocket, and like the exhaust tip is right here, and it's not actually attached to the tip. I think that's kind of cheesy, kind of dumb. They couldn't have actually put an exhaust tip on the exhaust, but that's just a personal thing, not a big deal. So one of the gripes I had about the ZR2, the Colorado ZR2, was the rear tire hung way down. And I see this truck here, they've got it tucked up pretty good. They've done a pretty good job of tucking it up. I mean, it's still low, it still hangs about halfway down your diff. Here, I'll give you an angle there. About halfway down your diff, but the ZR2 hung way lower, and it was something you were gonna get hung up on. So I think they did a better job with that. Chevy still hangs down the shock hangers way down low, maybe not quite as low as the ZR2 was, but they're hung way down low. Here's a thing that they have trouble with in the patch where I work. Now guys are going through brakes like crazy, and this is an option. It's a GM option. You can see up here the brake caliper. There's a big shield now, and you pay extra for, I believe it's a different caliper and this metal shield and whatnot, and that's supposed to stop the brakes from getting so jammed up with mud and whatnot, and basically killing the rear brakes. Like, guys are killing brakes in, oh, you know, a couple of weeks. They'll kill a whole set of brake pads. There's also the shield actually goes over top of the caliper here. I don't know if that's going to help, but I got the option because I know guys are just killing brakes left, right, and center. Okay, so like I said in the previous video before this on the ZR2, I typically don't keep the stock Chevy tires. They're just horrible. And in this case is the same thing. I got the stock tires taken off, and I've got these Falcon Wild Peak ATW3s or AT3Ws, and in the stock size, just keeping it, you know, just keeping everything simple in stock, because it's really going to be a garage queen and a highway queen. It's not going to see a whole lot of off-road, but I did want to have a better tire, and I've run these tires on my Samurai and they seem to be really good in winter. We'll see how they go with this truck come winter, and we'll be definitely getting back to you guys on the performance and the wear and whatnot of these tires, but I've had good luck with them so far, so that's why I went and put them on this truck. So I bought this truck with a 3-liter diesel in hopes of good fuel mileage, and it was a little over 200 kilometer trip home from the dealership, and the thing averaged 8.8 liters per 100K. To me, that's pretty awesome. Now you're running, you know, dry, just a full tank of fuel, nothing in the box, no extra passengers, no nothing like that, no wind, but I had the cruise set at 120, and it averaged 8.8 over about 210 kilometers, and I think that's pretty awesome. I'm going to be testing this thing here out in about a week, towing my Samurai to go do some wheeling, about a 700 kilometer trip one way. So we're going to have a 1400 kilometer trip test just to see how good this thing pulls, how it feels power wise, what kind of fuel mileage I get. And I mean, this is not a paid for test by GM or nothing. It's going to be just me and the dog and the Samurai and the trailer, and we're going to go do a 14 or 1500 kilometer round trip test, go do some wheeling, and just see how good this thing is and give it a little bit of a workout. So if you're liking this sort of content, go ahead, subscribe, share, like these videos, give me a thumbs up, hit the bell to be notified. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @Fabin_adventures. We'll catch you guys next Sunday.